Hi, it's me, AnaLisa, with my spiritual friend. Remember, I'm not answering any questions that are posted before I start the live stream because it puts me into too much of a trouble where I'm stuck here. So I'm going through and I'm deleting your questions. You'll have to retype them because I'm being a big jerk face. Because it really, stop typing. Just give me a second to delete these because really and truly it's not fair. I do put that at the beginning. I don't do anything. Stop typing. Stop typing. Stop it. Stop it. Hey, stop typing. I don't, just stop typing. Give me 2 seconds. Stop typing. I mean it, or I'm going to just not do it tonight. This is not a hard thing. Because I do ask for you guys not to post any questions before I start the live feed. Otherwise, I'll stop warning you and then nobody will come on. But this is really not a hard request. Because what happens is if when you guys post 50 questions before I start and then everybody comes on here and posts another 50, I'm screwed and I'll never get to go to bed. I'm happy to do your readings for free. That's why I come in here. But I also ask that you respect my boundaries, which is don't post anything before I start. So anything posted before 8:31 is not getting answered. How about we just do that? So too bad. So sad. The rules of the game are only post your question once, one time only. Please do not post them a million times. It sucks when you post them a lot. Because what happens is I see your question and I think, oh, I've already answered that. And then I miss a whole bunch of other people and then people are yelling at me that I didn't see their questions. Also, please put question marks at the end of your questions because I missed somebody last week and she said I missed her, but sometimes that's what flags me to see that, oh, there's a question there. I need to answer that. Please be kind and respectful of others. So don't sit and chat between everybody a million times because, again, it makes it harder for me to find what I'm looking for. And everybody wants their questions just answered just as much as you do. I'm not a doctor, not a lawyer. I'm not a financial advisor, and I'm certainly not a therapist. If you need one of those, please seek those. All readings and divinations and mediumship are for the purposes of entertainment. Only in accordance with the law. There are fortune-telling laws in many states. And New York is one of them. Even though I'm in Jersey, that's where I was trained. So I wanted to share with you guys, I was going to do a spiritual talk on Friday and I didn't do it because I had such a crazy week. I was put in touch with by my friend Tony, a woman who is a Native American, and she's an incredibly powerful being. And she's just sort of like, it's not that she's waking up to her abilities. It's just that she's like fully ready to embrace them. And I happened to read her energy and got all of this healing work. And I was told to do all of this healing work for her. And I never do it without permission, but they were like, do it, do it, do it. And she, because I did this healing work, then like all like stuff like happened because of it. And she was like, don't do that again. And then she explained what happened. And I said, oh, because sometimes we won't do healing for ourselves and make that stretch and that statement to like let go of something because it's like harder for us to see us and value ourselves and love ourselves. But because then it was like sort of transferred to this other person that she loved, and I don't want to give too many details because it is personal. She actually was able like to see that she's powerful enough to do this healing and rid this weight that she's been carrying around for 21 years. So it was super, super cool. And what was really, really cool is things that they were showing me. Like she was like, oh, that serpent you saw, because I saw the serpent thing. She linked me to this thing that it's a Native American belief of this serpent. And she showed me the drawing of it. And it literally was exactly what I saw, but in 2D version where I saw in like the full 3D as like the full animal. It was the coolest thing. And things that I saw on one of her children, like, I mean, it was just all these crazy, cool, like validating things. And this was all done through email. I still don't even know her voice or anything else. And so it was a huge, huge week, but you know, not that. And then I did a reading for a woman who was sick, but I was like, oh, you don't have COVID. And I saw, like, I told her when I thought it would get better and the things that she needed to do. And then she goes, yeah, I got tested. It's not COVID. They thought it was this. and they were giving her medication. I was like, well, that makes sense for the time frame. You would feel better. So it's always really cool to have those validations. I'm rambling, but I like sharing these things. And that's why I didn't do a talk, because I was sort of like embroiled, especially on Friday, in these emails back and forth, working on healing for this woman. Okay. Y'all. Okay, so I'm going to scan and just see hellos quick, but I'm not answering any questions before 8:31. Please, in the future, if you come back because you decide you like it here, don't bullshit questions before I get on here. It's sort of disrespectful to my time. I am giving you my time, and time is very valuable. So if you could just be respectful of my rules that I write on there, and the rules are: post your question once, use a question mark, and don't post until after we start the live stream. That's it. They're super easy. And if you don't like it, don't come. Oh, and I like my shirt. I got this. I thought it was really funny. Right? I just thought it was kind of goofy. All right. Whoa, what the hell did I do? How do y'all, I just made this in really big version. Oh, there. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry on the anniversary, Sherry. Not answering that. Nope. Nope. Thank you, Isha. Nope. Isha, so my regulars, they let you know the rules around here. So not to post a million times, not to post before I start the live stream. So Isha, I'm just giving you a shout out there for, and Danny, thank you. All right, well, I'd like to read your comments, but I'm getting caught up in everybody's questions and I don't want to read them. So 8:31 is when I started, so I will start there. Actually, I'm going to start at 8:33. Okay. Oh, another thing. So I was reading, Cuomo said that they're going to start opening up probably like the first things back around May 15th. And remember, I said the date was May 15th. That I thought my daughters would go back to school, but it was just opening up, but still May 15th. And remember, I said that I feel like by July, everything will kind of be a little bit more normal and everybody's back kind of doing their thing. There might be, variations of what it is, but normal-ish. So Evolves Dog, you're asking about if I can tell you about your spiritual guide. So this is what I tell people to do, because I think it's much more powerful of an experience if you do it this way. And then I'll give you a message from them. For everybody. So I have, I only have 2 meditations on here, but one of my meditations is to either meet with a loved one and or your guides in the ethers. The ethers are the meditative world, the dream world, the other space of being. I can tell you who I see or whatever I see, but then if you do something like that, and be like, oh, I'm only just doing because that's what she subconsciously implanted in me. So I think the better thing and the more validating thing for you to do is do a meditation, either do mine or pick somebody else, whoever you're comfortable with. Do a meditation to meet your guides. See what they look like, feel what they look like, see if they give you any information, and then come to me and say, okay, I did this meditation. Can you describe what you see for my guides? Because then whatever I say will validate what you got. So it makes it a more powerful experience and a more enlightening experience versus me going, you have this guy named George with you. And because I've heard people say, oh, someone told me. And I'm like, but that doesn't mean much to me. I don't know, but I am the skeptic of psychics, believe it or not. I'm pretty skeptical of a lot of people. So I'm always looking for the snake oil and the ego and all of that stuff. But what do your guides say now for tonight? I feel like you're, it's funny because they're like, it's like bouncy energy, like hyper bouncy energy that you have. And I don't know if that makes anything. It's not like bad, but it feels like very happy energy, like almost the way my 3-year-old is. Not that you're immature or anything, but it's just that very childlike energy about you. I do feel like you've been having a lot of connections with spirits and with guides yourself. Although I will tell you, it's basically like the veil is totally gone now, because so many people are having so many experiences, and like really clear experiences. I also feel really dizzy. They're talking about it's important for you to ground yourself. There you go. It's important for you to ground yourself. Sorry, because I was like, what am I reaching for? And they're like, grounding. That you tend to get really like spacey and off into things. You may even feel a bit scattered. I just did this for this person I read for. I was like, oh, you're really scattered. But it's that feeling of like kind of getting lost and not feeling super connected. So it's really important for you to do a really easy one if you don't have access to outside right now. A lot of people who live in New York City, they're in apartments and they don't have outdoor space, is to visualize tree roots growing up out of the ground and wrapping around your legs and sort of like kind of keeping you balanced between heaven and earth. I will leave you with that. I always think it's funny, Ellen, when people say spirit knows what I've been working with, or have that idea that like it's a test or something. We'll see. I actually feel like you're getting a lot of stuff intuitively, and they said you need to start writing, because I saw a number 2 pencil. I don't know why specifically a pencil, but I feel like you need to start writing everything down so that you can remember it. They said it's really important for you to write everything down. When things come intuitively, if you don't write them down, you sort of forget them. I'm also feeling headaches. Have you been having headaches? This is your third eye and your crown chakra opening up, by the way. And remember to breathe. I feel like I'm holding my breath. Evolved dog, did that make sense? You said thank you, and I appreciate that. Oh, it makes sense, I guess. Okay. Ellen, I'm going to leave that with you, I guess. Okay. Someone asked about surgery. I'm just going to answer this quick. Juliet, sorry, guys. I'm not trying to skip. It was just because it came in. It's a really quick one. I feel the end of May to the beginning of June for you on the surgery. Bonita, start to improve you soon in your family. I will have this pending situation with past person, and I'm ready for it to be over. I feel like the impending situation with that past person is about 2 months more left of dealing with that. But I truly don't feel like sort of settled until August. So I don't know if it's just sort of like residual things of having to kind of get settled in. So I know it seems like a long time, but it seems like when it gets to that point, then we're sort of everything is squared away and it's like back to whatever. But it feels like 2 more months until we sort of have this decision made about how we go forward. And then by August, we're sort of like, okay. Music for the vibe. So if you notice, instead of being a 30-minute like thing, I just kind of just put free, and then I'll sort of like make the decision of when to cut it off based on how many questions there are. So that, again, I'm not here till 11 o'clock at night. Because I actually have a hard time falling asleep after this. All right, music for the vibe. Oh, this is the time for you to really start digging into your manifestation and just believing with all believe in all faith. Because I said, I've probably said it before, but that seek and you shall find, ask and it is given. It's really, manifestation really works. And all you have to do is set your intentions and set it with belief that it's already happened and seeing the end results. And I feel like it's just that you just need to remove that last bit of disbelief of it happening. If you, again, it's that idea of like, anybody can be or do anything that they want, but it has to sort of be believable. Like you have to sort of be able to like wrap your brain around it. So if you have this still like last bit of doubt that it's totally impossible and it can't happen, then you're setting up that block. But they're saying like now is the time. So I feel like, I bet if you even looked at your charts, it would say this is a really good time for manifesting and sort of setting up. And I actually feel like the next 5 years is like going to be set up for you now in this time frame. In the next 3 months is a really good time to like hone in your skills of this. Stephanie, you will be in a romantic relationship. It will be short term. And I'm getting October as a time for you. I feel like it's going to be short term. And I don't know if it's because there's a moving or just a parting ways, obviously, right? If it's short term, but it just feels like, it's funny. I get like the feeling of like a naval deployment or something like that. I don't know why I feel that way. And it can be symbolic. It doesn't have to be literal, but it's just that feeling of like needing to go away. And so it sort of kind of just fades off. And then I feel like February, March of next year is actually when something more long-term comes along. Nicole. Okay, are you and your friend going? Do you mind giving me a first name, Nicole? You're welcome, Stephanie. I was just talking to Stephanie, not Stephanie Sands. Oh, he's a traveler. Okay, so yeah, I'll say your last name, just so you know. Okay, Nicole, got a first name? Will. Oh, I don't need his last name. Shh, you won't tell Will. Nobody look up Will. Okay, hang on. I just try to move back up to where I was, so I like am not losing anybody. Okay. Okay. So I feel like, again, it's like 2 months out and said you will, but unexpectedly so. So it feels more like you actually feel like he's going to be like, you sort of settle on this point that you're like in friend zone and then it just sort of happens. So it feels unexpected, even though you're asking it. And I know that sounds weird, but that's what they say. So that's what I'm giving you. Lauren, Jane, any message from loved ones who have passed over or any from your guides? I feel like you actually have several people that have passed over and they literally said, you have to be more specific. I'm just trying to figure out what they're saying. There's no one as specific as stepping forward. So if there is somebody you want to reach out to, just give me a name. You make it a little bit easier in this forum when there's this many people. I know for other people, this is not a lot of people watching, but for me, this is. Imagine it being in a room of 50 people and then all of your energy coming in and all of the other if you have a group of people. So sometimes it's easier. Anything from your guides here? Let me just see if you typed anything. And I try Evan. Okay. It's funny. I feel like this grandmother, like a little woman, and she was like, it's like there's a rainbow and there's these people and there was one young man, but they're all like sort of joking around about, and this is what I couldn't figure out. They were saying was not chain gang, but then I heard clan. I'm like, none of these words really sound very positive, but it's like, maybe it's more, instead of being like scary clan, but like the Scots had different clans, they called them. Did Evan smoke? Because I see someone smoking and actually blowing smoke rings. And he feels, I don't want to say tall, but maybe between 5'10" and 6 feet. Kind of thinner build. Wanda, thank you for coming back. Yes, okay. Well, he can still smoke over there. And he goes, this didn't kill me. I feel like he's quite a bit of the smart ass. I feel like he's been doing things around your house. So if you've been hearing things or whatever, it's him. It's not anybody else, it's him. And I feel like he thinks it's funny to play jokes on you. And to kind of screw around with you. Like he had a kind of not a mean sense of humor, but like he's saying a wicked sense of humor. That's him. Okay. So I'm going to leave you with that because he's not really saying too much. I think he just wants you to know he is around you. And he has like this kind of, I don't know, he really liked practical jokes and like just laughing. And he kind of like a darker sense of humor too. Like, so he's with you, dear. And again, if you guys want, private readings and you want to kind of delve into more of the mediumship stuff, then you can always email me and set up a paid private reading. I do feel like, so what I do, I just want to say this too. I do feel like you're okay with this passing. Like, it's not like there's any questions remaining around it or that, you both, it's like there's an understanding, but he is around you. And I do feel like he's doing stuff around you. And when I say the veil is thin, it is literally almost non-existent. Mary. Okay, now my smart ass answer here is, you said any messages from my higher self. Well, you should ask yourself. But really and truly, that's what I do is I set the intentions before I do things for my higher self to like kind of give me clarity. Sorry. Okay. Messages from your higher self. I keep hearing this over and over for a lot of you, by the way, where I hear speak your truth, speak your truth, speak your truth. A lot of us are coming into our own and getting really comfortable in our own skin and learning to really be our own advocates and sort of like, it's not like telling the world to F off, but like sort of no longer worrying about how we're viewed or seen or if it's good enough or okay with the rest of the world and just sort of like owning our own. But I do feel that for you. They said you need to listen to more. She goes, I'm going to say this verbatim as they said it to me. She needs to listen more to her own intuition. We speak to her all the time, and it's like she just doesn't believe it's really happening. And again, you need to write it out, what they're telling you, because it will make sense if you look back at it after the event happens. Because I feel like you are getting like little prophetic thoughts and things to not warn you in a bad way, but just like a GPS, give directions ahead of the moment that you get there. I think that's also like one thing that people get scared because they've made it so Hollywood where if you get something prophetic, oh my God, what does it mean? And the pressure, if you think of it like your intuition and your psychic abilities are like this, they're an inner GPS. You don't freak out when your GPS says in a mile, you're going to turn right on this road. You go, okay, well, that's because it's expected. You should be told that's kind of what getting psychic information and being intuitive is. It's giving you the direction ahead of the time. So, you know what to expect. But that's what I feel like is that you really are getting this stuff. You just have to listen to it. Okay, Marie? Oh, Mary, that was for Mary. Now I have Maria. That's fine, Maria. Just email me. Hi, Jakari Thomas. Seen you and Mackenzie later. Oh, will you have a long-term relationship with you and Mackenzie later this year? Oh, okay. This is interesting. So they said, yes, you will have it if you want it. And then they said, but do you want it? So then they said, these are the things that you'll run up against, like as challenges in your relationship. Oftentimes I won't see like, oh, it's a terrible relationship. Like if someone comes to me, because I have friends who do this, they'll show me a picture of someone they're interested in, and I'll go, here's your challenge with this one, because you're going to have challenges in every relationship. You have to choose, do I want to do this, or do I want, do I want that challenge? They said indecisiveness. So it may seem cute and quirky, but it might actually be really hard for you to be with somebody who's a little bit more indecisive. And I feel like Mackenzie's going to have a hard time finding balance. So that to me means balance between work and play, right? Finding balance between, I feel like might lean into being a little bit more of a workaholic. So keep that in mind, okay? Did I write your name, Jakari? I hope I did. I'm going to write it again just in case. Heavenly Angel Doll Goddess Laura. Holy moly. I'm going to abbreviate yours to Haj L. Haj Laura, because that's a lot to type. Messages from your kitty in heaven. Oh, that's right. Well, she's not in heaven. I mean, not that animals don't, but animals, especially when they first pass over, they tend to kind of hang out with us a lot more, because I see your kitty actually like walking in between your legs and around your legs. Did your cat have like a funny meow? It wasn't like I've had a lot of cats through my life and dogs. I don't have any now because I have 3 children and I will only potty train one thing at a time. But I had one cat that did this. It was like this outside, fluffy, really soft orange tabby cat. He sort of adopted us. We called him Patio because he hung out on our patio. He had this like fun, like this like, he was a total tomcat, but he had this like funny little meow. And that's what I keep hearing. And I just feel like that's a validation. And the kitty is okay. Okay, the kitty is okay. Okay, so she had a unique meow. Yeah, okay. So I keep hitting this. So I want you to know that she is with you. She's around you. And I feel like she's pawing at your shoulder, like kneading your shoulder. I don't know if she like licked your nose or like did these little licks on your face. I never let cats lick my face. I just thought it was like, but no judgment. I'm just saying, like, it's not necessarily that common. Maria E., I'll get to you. I didn't mean to skip your question. Don't worry. Okay, so I'm going to leave that for you. She is okay, and she's around you. And it isn't that they just like to hang out with us because they're still, and it feels like I'm more comfortable now. Like when I had to have my dog put down, she had like a degenerative kidney disorder. Literally, like the minute I had her, like they anesthetized her or whatever, they not anesthetized her. I hate saying killed her or whatever, but so the minute they injected her, I literally handed her body back over because I was like, okay, she's gone. And I could feel her running around me as we walked home. You're very, very welcome. Okay. So, okay, Maria E. from Greece. I didn't mean to skip you, love. I will get to you. I'll come back up here. Oh, also remember, if there's a whole bunch of things timestamped, like you might see it in one order. So if there's like 8 things written at like 8:33, which is what I'm on right now, just because you have it in one order, it's in a total different order on mine. Oh, general reading. Okay, sorry, dear. I didn't see any question marks. So again, I just like quick scanned and then I was trying to move on because I don't want to chat too much. Okay, here's Maria E. I do feel a little bit of tightness in my chest. So this is interesting. The first thing I heard was you're safe to go out. But I do feel a little bit of tightness in my chest, and whatever it is, I feel like it passes quickly without incident, is the way they told it to me. So if they're saying you're safe to go out, I don't feel like it's COVID or anything like that. I just feel like a little bit of tightness in my chest. And they also said, do not ignore your own health, in the sense that you tend to let things get really bad before you get help. This feels very mixed. I'm sorry. And anxiety. Do you have anxiety? It just feels real low level, like mild generalized anxiety. No apologies, Maria. I'm going to go ahead and end the questions, guys, because I should have done it earlier. There's so many of you guys tonight. And listen, there's quite a few of you here. Like and subscribe and stuff, man. Share me. Mafia Cosa Nostra Bitcoin? Huh? Wait, I'm not on Cindy. I'm on Maria E. Maria. Oh, I guess it would sound like Cindy T. Maria E. From Greece. Yes. Okay. Oh, okay. Good. You're saying all of that. Okay. Perfect. I actually love getting out and walking. So if it's possible for you to do that, to get out and stretch and walk is really going to be good for you, for your anxiety, and just sort of like making you feel better. I actually feel like you're very empathic and sensitive to everything that's going on. And it's just like needing to shake it all off is really important. So doing some meditations, doing some clearings, like you can do. One of my other meditations is visualizing this white light that kind of grows. That sort of actually, if you see it grow really, really big and expand really big, it actually will sort of kind of cleanse everything out. Hi, Regine. Any messages from your spirit guides? They are standing up and applauding. They said you've been doing your homework. I don't know what your homework is. You've been doing your homework. They're applauding you. That all of the steps that you're taking sort of to grow and to heal yourself is like sort of like now starting to, like when you think of a seed popping up out of the ground, it's just now starting to kind of come to fruition and work for you. So they want to applaud you on that. I think that's really important, because a lot of times we're doing the work that we do, helmet hair, that we're doing the work that we do, and especially like on self-healing, and we're kind of like, is it working? Is anybody seeing the results? Like, or am I still? So it's sometimes it's nice to get that reassurance that the work we're doing is actually happening. Spiritual goddess of enlightenment. Remember, guys, please just post your questions once. Spiritual goddess, you have been here before. I heard set your boundaries. Set your boundaries, and not only that, respect your boundaries. So really and truly, you can't make anybody else respect your boundaries at all. You can only respect, like the only person that ever has to respect boundaries is yourself. So you set a boundary and say, I don't want somebody to treat me this way. When they do, it's either you let them know their boundary, because if they haven't done it before and you're like, hey, that's not cool, I don't really like being treated that way, and they do it again, then you be done with it, because you have to respect that boundary, right? You can't make anybody do anything. You can't change anybody. You can only sort of like focus on yourself. So the biggest thing of setting boundaries is respecting the boundaries that you set. And I feel like that's really important for you to hold that near and dear. Thank you, Wanda. You're welcome, Regine. Courtney, I'm going to give you an assignment, since I'm not going to answer your question because you're past the time that I hit the thing, but I have a meditation on here for meeting your guides. There's a section playlist on meditations. There's only 2 on there, so like you can't miss it. Do it. And you do it's a guided meditation. Try it. It's like 10 or 13 minutes or something. It's nothing crazy long. And then come back next week, and maybe I will get some information that will validate the experience that you have. Sound like a plan? At the beginning of this video, I sort of explained to somebody why I don't usually tell people about their guides until they, thank you, Cindy T, until they sort of have an experience on their own, because it's much more profound to have that experience on your own. Liz C, messages from your spirit guides. And the reason why I don't answer any questions that are posted before the stream started is because, y'all, I am literally on 8:34 and I've been here for 38 minutes. All right. I heard trust yourself. Stop looking for outside validation and really start to trust yourself. I feel like you're very cognizant, and you're really actually very good at reading people. You just second guess yourself all the time. And it's like, just learn to really trust yourself. It's very important. It's important for your growth. And I feel like you're going to be doing a ton. It's okay. Don't worry. No. No crying. No crying in baseball. Yeah. So just learn to trust yourself and not second guess all the time. Be brave. It does take a lot of bravery, by the way, when we are sort of like taught a lot to like, oh, no. It's, like it starts as a little kid in a weird way when you fall, or a child falls and they go, oh, you're fine. And in your head, you're like, but I'm crying. It hurts. Like my knee is bleeding. I don't feel fine. But you start to like not really trust what you're feeling. Trust what you're feeling. Isha, Planning to take an extra year of your undergrad in bio and then go for master's, then go for med school. Okay. Didn't we talk about this? And I felt like the best route would be med school. That was what they were giving me. But you can do any choice you want. So we'll look at it as this question of if you choose to go for your master's and then go to med school, what would your master's? I keep hearing biochemistry. And I don't, like, I heard biochem. So, or biochemical engineering. I don't know if that's even possible, but something like that, biochem. And I don't even know if that makes sense for you, but. Sadim, what is Omar current feelings for me? Thank you so much. You are welcome so much, Sadim, in advance. Does Omar kind of double talk? Like, I just feel like this, like this almost like storytelling way of talking. I know I probably look really weird when I sometimes I watch these back because my kids are like, why are you watching yourself? And I guess I'm trying to figure out, sometimes I feel like my words drop, or I try to give you guys more eye contact. I don't know. Sadim, does that make sense for Omar? That kind of like, it feels like this double talking, like this sing-songy sort of like, it's an interesting way of talking, like almost in a storytelling. Yeah, okay. I just want to make sure I'm connecting in. Oh, I don't want to, I hate saying this, but I feel like Omar is a little bit in love with Omar. Omar likes to talk about Omar. Elizabeth Lynn, I'll look for you. I wasn't answering any questions before I started the live stream. Maybe that's why, because I just really like skipped through to about 8:32 or 1. That's okay. I'm not judging you, Isha. I was answering it as if, okay, so if we go this route, if she goes this route and does this first, then I heard you can get into med school last week, by the way. So, okay, I'll look. Wanda, you weren't skipped. You weren't skipped. I saw your question. It was a later one. I promise I won't skip you this time. He's a bit selfish sometimes. Okay. So that is what I got. They're not saying yes. They were showing me that he's sort of kind of involved in himself. Okay. Okay. Here. Okay. Oh, Elizabeth Lynn. Will Ben and I have a child when? Okay. There you are. I heard yes once things settle down. So I don't know what that means, but I feel like once things settle down. So maybe even like just climate, like energy wise right now, it's like sort of a little, but yeah, I do feel like you will for sure. And I don't know. I mean, I know a lot of people want a lot of kids or more than one, but I heard one and done. So I don't know if it's just, we just have one and we decided sort of that's what fits us best. So I don't feel like when I hear when things settle down, that to me, that doesn't feel like that far out. Danielle W., will it get garnished? I do feel like it will. Because I feel like it will go directly into your account and they will garnish. I heard garnish wages, but I don't feel like it takes all of it, but I do feel like it takes a good part of it. But then I feel like whatever it is that I needed, the debts that needed to be owed would be like settled at that point. So I don't know if that's that you call it and you're kind of like, that's it. Like, I don't know if you work out a deal where it's like you don't end up owing everything, or that it's not as big of an amount as maybe it could be, but I do feel like they will take some of it. I feel like you could maybe even call and get whatever it is that you like owed pushed back, and that's why. I don't know. There's some way to call and like set something up. Rosewater. Message do my guides have for me? They said don't be in such a hurry to like make everything happen. Settle and relax. This time is sort of a gift for you to relax. And I know that sounds weird, but I feel like because once it starts to pick up again, it's really going to pick up and be very, very, very busy for you. And you're going to have no downtime and be like, why didn't I appreciate that time, instead of being so antsy to get back to being busy? So it just feels like really relish in this time. Hi, Mallory. Almost wrote Tony. Did he call you doll? I heard, how's it going, doll? I don't know if you felt this or if it's something that's coming up, because, sometimes he shows me weird things, but I was just rubbing my hand. So I don't know if you're going to actually feel like someone's rubbing your hand or holding your hand or something. It might even be when you're in bed at night and kind of like groggy, but I feel like that's him. He's going to start doing new things to make himself aware. And I feel like that's Jamila. Good evening. You have new love and true friends soon. Yes. So of course, in my head, I go, well, why don't we have true friends? And what is it that's stopping us, right? So some of that is sometimes we surround ourselves unknowingly with people that aren't very respectful and kind of needy. I do feel like you lean towards being a little bit codependent. So what does that mean, right? You tend to help without being asked to help. And that sort of sets up this really uneven dynamic of then always feeling like you're taken for granted. And this happens in your relationships, your love and your friendships. And they said you need to change your inner dialogue. That inner dialogue that, is always so hard on yourself. Like, oh, look what I did again. Like, of course I would make it like this. Like, even as I'm talking to this, I feel like you're being hard on yourself for saying these things. But you're taught, we're taught a lot of belief systems as children. We're easily malleable and we're taught a lot of belief systems. So it just feels like I got taught these things, and not like to be malicious or anything. That's sort of like is this generational thing that gets passed down. And it just feels like I was taught to put others before myself. I was taught to value others more than I value myself. And it's sort of like you can have that relationship and those things, but you sort of have to heal this in order to have, you can have any relationship, but in order to have a healthier relationship, it's sort of like healing this idea that everybody's needs and wants come before yours. And it doesn't make you bitchy or vicious in order, it just means that you value yourself. And once you start to value yourself, the people that you carry around you are more valuable too. This person with this long name, quit typing things, please. Priscilla, no, you didn't. All right, I'm just going to block you because I don't understand the language you're typing, and it's not helpful. Danny 333, will you be able to make a living with your psychic abilities? Absolutely. I still feel like it's 3 to 5 years out before you make that leap to doing it just that on your own, like feeling comfortable that you've built up enough clients and stuff and that you can do it that way. But I do feel like you can be doing all of this now, and then it's just sort of like grows. But I think it's 3 to 5 years where you really feel like, okay, this will sustain me and I feel good about it and I've built the clients and stuff for it. I know it sounds like a long time, but listen, when I was first starting out, you should have heard the numbers of years ahead. In fact, my friend Paul, before he passed away, he's like, when you're 60, you're going to be amazing. I'm like, 60 for real? It's like, so it's like 3 to 5 years. Shayavish, will W contact you soon? I feel like yes, but I feel like even when W does contact you, it's like disappointment. Like that's it. Like it's not what you're hoping for or expecting. Lisa, you asked about how many spirit guides do I see you with? I see 3, but out of those, 1 is sort of rotating in and out. They're not saying this in the right way, but I mean, I know what they mean, but I keep hearing stop counting on others, but I don't feel like it's counting on others, but it's like sort of like I feel like you're getting continually, it feels like one person in particular, but you tend to get a little bit disappointed by others. Like I would do more. I would never it's like you put more of yourself out there than you get in return, and then being disappointed because you expect people to do the same for you. And it's sort of like, stop having those expectations. They're unrealistic, and that person really, especially, I feel like one person in particular is not capable of what you're expecting, and you're sort of just like letting yourself down. So it's sort of like accepting people for who they are. And then if they aren't valuing who you are and what you do, then don't do it. It's also sort of like respecting your own boundaries. It's this kind of the same thing all melded in together. I don't know if I wrote your name. Okay. All right, Priscilla, I'm almost to you, okay? How many? Yeah, okay. Jazz hands. What's funny is I thought about you the other day, and mostly this, jazz hands. What can I see for you and Sherry in the near future? I think this is symbolic because they're saying honey and the fruits of your labor, but honey can be seen as like a very valuable, like as money coming in. I actually feel like in 4 months, it feels like sort of like all the work that you've been putting out and stuff is going to start to like show a return. So it's don't give up right before your breakthrough is sort of the feeling I'm getting. Are you guys planning on kids? Because I also feel like that's a possibility too. I didn't write your name. Sylvie girl, I'm not taking any new questions, okay? You're welcome, Lisa. Yes, you have to be patient. It takes me a little while to get through, but you know what? It's free, man. Free. More of you should be liking this. If you're getting a free reading, for God's sake, it's not hard to put a thumbs up. I don't ask for any donations. Isn't that amazing? Everybody's always asking for donations on here. I don't need them. I want people to have the experience of what a real psychic medium is like and not be taken for a ride. And I'm not trying to sell anything or work at my ego. Just hit a like. I don't know what they do. I don't really care. Hit a like. Okay. It's just a form of gratitude. How about that? Okay. Monica C., will you be in a love relationship soon? It still feels like 6 months out for you. And they said working out the kinks. So I have no idea what that means, but they said working out the kinks. And listen, sometimes they say things to me and I go, I don't know what this means. Like last June, in June of 2019, I said Trump would be out, but they said not in the way you want. And I would think a pandemic and everything going to crap as far as financially for a lot of people is not exactly how we want him out. So sometimes they say things, I don't always understand it, but I can only tell you what they say. All right, Priscilla, you're up, love. What can I expect in my love life? I'm single. Priscilla Ellen. Ellen is single. I feel like one of your guys has like this British accent and it's a female. It's precisely where she wants to be. I actually feel like, like you're actually really confident and not willing to put up with people's BS. And I feel like maybe even your friends tell you you're too picky or you're too, like, I literally heard like, oh, fuck off. I don't know where you're from, but like, it's like this funny, like, so I feel a few coming in and out, but I feel like this is probably not what you're going to want to hear, but like in 2 to 3 years is sort of when I meet that person that makes me like become a little bit mushier and ooier and gooier. I don't know if that makes any sense, but that's what I feel. It's a little bit out yet. Emmy, I'm not taking any new questions. You're welcome, Monica. But if you come back next week, I'm here every Sunday night. I'm pretty dependable. Highway 138, I haven't seen you in forever. I'm not taking any new questions, but come back next week. Okay, Priscilla Ellen. I'm with it because I got a lot of you left to get to. Sonia Rain Lee, any messages from your spirit guides? You're a warrior is what I feel like, because I feel like breathe and trust in us more. We've never let you down and we will never let you down. But I just feel like I'm not trusting enough. I'm always worrying. I'm always worrying. I'm always worrying. There's like funny little sayings about worrying. Like I saw this one the other day. I don't remember who said it. It's like you can, worrying is like rocking in a rocking chair. It keeps you busy, but you don't get anywhere. Something like that. Just relax. It feels like we've got you. We've got all of this under cover. So it's like do the things that you can have control over and be productive. But the worrying, I feel like, is taking up too much of my time. And don't worry about what other people are doing. I literally feel like I'm watching what other people, and why are they doing that? Why are they doing this? And it's like, don't worry about it. Just worry about what's in your own pot, because that's all you have control over anyway. Laura H, is there a stable long-term relationship coming for you? Perhaps a life mate. I feel like 18 months out yet. So I don't know if it's you meet in 18 months and then marry in 3 years, but it's a little bit out yet. But you will. Why do I smell chlorine? Do you have something to do with swimming or pools or I don't know, but I just keep smelling chlorine. Pink purple hearts. Hello. How was Japan? As soon as this is all over, my husband will have some legal issues that need to be resolved in court with his ex. Do you feel she will win the case? No. So I don't feel like it's a win or lose. I feel like this is what they said. They said, no, it will all balance itself out. So whether it's that maybe they come to an agreement just before it goes to court, but it feels like an agreement and balance in it. It doesn't feel like it weighs heavy towards one side or the other. So I don't feel winning or losing. It's just balance. Hi, KK. Nice to see you. Your handwriting or your typing. What do I see happening for you in the next few months? Clarity in the direction that you're taking and sort of finally making that step in the movement. I actually feel like more work oriented, but like sort of being like, okay, this is what I'm doing and this is the direction I'm taking. Instead of feeling like I'm swimming around, I feel like I'm finally making the decision and it's moving in that direction. And they said, you know what it is, so it really doesn't matter if I say it or not. I know, woohoo. Psychic says that, but I actually feel like it's like I feel like I've been swimming around for the last 6 to 9 months. They said 6 to 8 months, actually 6 to 8 months, and like now I finally in the next 3 months I've got my clarity and I've got my decision, and this is what I'm doing and this is how I'm doing it. This is the courses I'm going to take, or this is the where I'm going to move, like whatever. It feels like I've made the decision and I'm done, and it feels like a weight off my shoulders. Hello, Baseman Awakens. Will your court case be settled before the end of the year? Yes, just before the end. It feels like literally like sorry, it feels like it's like in the nick of time is sort of the feeling. Baby face, general reading. Has your clairaudience started opening up? Because I just feel like somebody yelling in my ear and not speaking English, a different language. So I don't know if that makes any sense, but it doesn't feel like. So it feels like I maybe think I'm hearing a relative who's passed over who did not speak English, was not their first language. And I feel like I think I'm going crazy because it's almost that feeling. Does that make any sense? You're welcome, Baseman. Anna Robinson, I'm going in order, and I did stop taking new questions a while ago, so I don't know where your question is at. Yes. Okay. So you're hearing them. Your clairaudience is opening up. Just relax into it and listen. You're not crazy. Told you the veil is gone, y'all. No longer there. Everybody is chatting away, and the world is just as busy for you as it is for me. Maybe not as busy, but Shit, what time was I on? There you are. Happy vibes. Yes, happy vibes. You will get married. I keep seeing something about the number 15, but I don't feel like it's 15 years or 15 weeks. Like I don't feel like it's time frame, but it's something significant about the number 15. So it may be this person's birthday is on the 15th of the month, or you get married on the 15th of the month. I don't know, but I'm hearing yes and something significant about the number 15. So hold on to that. Mr. Rusty's, any messages for spirit for you? So I hear that it's important to be very methodical because I feel very like very clear and concise and slow. Like that's the way the voice is talking to me, and very methodical. And they're saying it's okay to be all of these things, but it's also important to just like kind of learn to go with the flow and be like, okay, it's fine. Like let it go and not worry about if something is just like this and if everything is, every T is crossed. Like obviously there are cases where you want to do that, right? But it feels like it's okay to like let loose and relax. What is that, like Cuomo just said? I'm a cool dude in a loose mood. I just think that's a funny saying. So I feel like it's good to be all those things, and it's also good to relax a little bit. I don't know if that makes any sense. I hope it does. You're welcome, babyface. And happy vibes. Oh, you saw letters in a different language. Write the letters down because and then set the intention that you'll find out what they mean. Lisa, also for Benji and his food issues, I do feel like he will. It feels like it's a few years out yet, though. It just takes a little bit of time. Oh, and Sherry, if you're still here, actually, he says no. He's like, you know how to reach me. So I literally feel like you're supposed to do that meditation again. Just sort of relax and he'll come to you. And I know that sounds weird, but I feel like it's so much more powerful for you to have the experience on your own. He does love you. And it will help you sleep tonight. I feel like do the meditation before you go to sleep tonight. It'll help you sleep. He does visit you in your dreams. So here's the other thing. Sometimes I won't necessarily give you answers that you want to hear, and people are like, oh, and they get really mad. But what I really also want to encourage people to do here, and that's why I give the answers the way I do, is to grow their own intuition, to understand that they are connected to. We all can do what I do. Maybe not exactly, right? But everybody has an intuition, and everybody has a connection to a higher, I don't know, you can call it a being, a collective, God, whatever. Everybody has that connection, and you are all capable of connecting into it. So sometimes I don't give you, this is the clear answer, because really why you're also coming here is to learn how to connect in yourself. My tagline for my thing is empowering your journey. Well, I'm trying to empower you to take control of your own spiritual journey and not feel like you have to go to somebody for an outside validation. I do it too sometimes too, right? Where I'm like, I get this. Does this make sense? But I want you to learn to grow too. Forest Fairy. When will I move to London from the US? It feels actually a little while out yet. I actually feel a few years out. I don't feel soon. I feel like in 3 years, because I feel like I have to have stuff set up, and then also waiting for the perfect opportunity, the best opportunity to open up for you. Laura H, I do healing work. So the way you placed it is removing trauma. I would say I help you learn to remove your own trauma. I help you facilitate the healing for you, but I don't do the work for you. So I sort of do it intuitively, and my guides show me, and they help you sort of do it. My sister's keeper, we haven't seen you in a while. Welcome back. I'm sorry, they're playing a tune in my head, but it's literally just the musical. So I'm waiting for words or for them to say, like, they said you're trucking along fine. You're doing the work that you need to be doing. And it's sort of like you've learned to embrace and enjoy things a little bit more. And that's what they've always wanted for you. Because you're sort of always counting your chickens before they're hatched, instead of just like letting there be an unfoldment. And now in this time, you've learned to just like let there be this unfolding, and it's really good. So congratulations. AJ Mall. I heard learn to help one another more. So it feels like I don't want to say doing volunteer work, but it just feels like maybe putting yourself out there more to be more helpful, to there's an important lesson for you to learn through helping others that you won't necessarily get like the experience in your own life, but it's like an important, it's like, it's not learning empathy, because I don't feel like you're an unempathetic person, but it's really important for you to help others. And I feel like it's reaching out and not necessarily, I mean, you can help people, but I feel like helping others that are less fortunate, it feels very important for your growth. Heavenly Angel Doll, give yourself time on that one. Allow yourself to work through the grief. It hasn't been that long since their kitty's passing. Oh, Isha, thank you for the compliment. Sherry, any messages for you from Spirit? They said you've been very patient lately. And I feel like you're also working on your own development and your own growth as well. And they've said that you're doing a really good job with that, and they're proud of you, and just to keep doing the work and keep moving forward. Dusty Rose, will your daughter get a car soon? I feel like in 2 months' time. So, because I heard 2, and I said 2 weeks, and they're like, eh. So it feels like in 2 months' time, like maybe everything falls into place and she has the extra cash to do it or something. Monica, see, you have an update for me. You told last week that I'll be getting my income on a certain date, and you are. Ah, yay! Thank you. Thank you for the validation. Hey, your husband wants advice from his guides. Do you have a name? Darlene, I haven't seen your name yet. You're welcome, your sister's keeper. Brianna, I'm not taking any new questions. Gosh. Y'all, I'm not even to 8:40 timestamp yet, so that'll tell you how many questions there are. I'll just answer, hey, let's see what I can get up for you. He's very impatient. And I feel like he's also very type A, so it feels like it has to be this way, it has to be this way, and like almost like I can't handle when something isn't. Does he have allergies? Because now I'm itching my nose. But it's that feeling of like almost OCD in a way. And it's like, and they said he needs to learn to actually compartmentalize a little bit more and like sort of like leave it at the door. Like when I leave work, I have to leave work at the door because it's creating issues in the home, and I need to leave. Like I need to learn to like kind of separate things. I don't know if that makes any sense, but I'm going to leave you with that. Hi, Rose. How are you feeling? Rose, I feel like focus on your solar plexus chakra, where like your stomach area. I feel like focusing on that first. So instead of trying to do them all at once, focus there first and then work your way up. Is going to be the most helpful. So I'm going to leave you with that. Monica C. Okay. Lucy, when will T contact you? Lucy A, when will T contact you? It's either 2 weeks or around May 2nd, because they're showing me a 2, and I don't feel like it's that far out. But it's like this other person that I said tonight. Like, it just feels like I'm like kind of like, once it happens, I'm kind of like, that's it. Gee, welcome back. Some of y'all are here. I haven't seen you in forever. Is that an Eagles song where it goes, take it easy, take it easy? Try to save me. I'm not a good singer. The Lord did not give me with a voice. I feel like you really need to like just relax. So I feel like I've been working. So if you're not a frontline person, like it just feels like I have actually been working a lot, and it's just like some things you just have to like let go so you can actually just relax. So it's like, don't feel like you have to do everything and be the perfect at everything, and just relax a little bit. Tamara Forever, I would like to know what kind of type of hardship I'll endure when future husband and I meet. Okay. So I'm like asking, like, is it financial? No, financial is not going to be an issue. And I feel like doing equal work in the house. Like, I don't feel like one's doing more than the other, but I do feel like, now when I say somebody is sensitive, it does not mean anything wrong. I'm a very sensitive person. I cry a lot. I'm a crier. not in a weird way, but just like, when I'm angry, I cry. When I'm sad, I'm cry. When I'm happy, I cry. Like I'm just a watery person. And it just feels like, it feels communication is actually going to be your hardest thing, and like not being able to express yourself in the way that you want in order to be heard. And like he will maybe say things, or not say things, like not be you just won't be on even ground with that. So really, really work on until then becoming an effective communicator. It feels like that's going to actually be your big issue. So financially, you're going to be fine. Balancing and doing stuff around the house. Like, I don't feel like it's like you're always doing all the work and he's doing nothing. It feels very, very balanced in that sense. Darlene, see, I told you I didn't miss you. Here you are. How is Kevin currently feeling about you? Is it weird for me to say non-confrontational? So I don't feel like this big, huge spark of magic, but I don't feel like repulsed or I don't want anything to do with her. I just feel sort of like indifferent. I feel like so many other things are going on that like my focus isn't on a romantic relationship right now, but it doesn't mean it won't grow to that. Google user. Can I tell you to be financially okay? I'll do my best. Okay, so I heard you will be. I feel like you're actually better off than you feel. Like you're one of those people that, well, it's kind of like my mom, because my mom went through, like, we didn't have a lot of money for a long time. And so she's always like preparing just in case, which is good. Like I would rather her, instead of being like this frivolous spender and not care about, whatever. But so it feels like that. Like I'm very much a planner and whatever, but I do feel like I'm juggling things for the next 3 months. It feels like I'm sort of like moving things around, but that it's all okay. It all works out okay. And then I'm doing much better after that. But it's more about, I feel better about it rather than that it is actually what it is. Like sometimes we're more worrier than like the best example I can give is my mom. She'll be like, oh, I don't know if I should get that. I'm like, you can afford it. Like, so it feels like I don't, I'm not recommending to go out and spend a whole bunch of money, but I feel like you're better off than where you feel like you are, like in actuality. But I feel like I'll feel more relaxed about it in 3 months. But like, I feel like things kind of like going like this over the next 3 months. Anna Robinson. See, I'm here. Any messages from your past loved one, your granny? Why is she saying, well, I'm not a granny anymore? Like, I feel like, I don't know if this was a joke that you would have had with her. When she crossed over, she was going to be young and like not be in this old body. It's that feeling of like, I'm not old anymore. I'm really young. Hi, Kiki. Julie Owens, any messages for you? Your daughter-in-law is going to be induced tomorrow, so I'm a little anxious. Oh, especially given the time that it is now, right? I'm sorry, Anna. I'm sorry it's so late there. I try and move through these. Okay, so I got you. Hopefully you heard it. Kayla, I'm not taking any new people, but if you want to come back next week, I do them at 8:30 p.m. Eastern time every week. Julie Owens. I do feel like everything will be okay with the induction. I actually feel like it's going to go a lot quicker than they would have planned. GC, I'm not taking any new ones tonight. I'm just catching up, desperately catching up. There was a lot of people here tonight. I'm so excited about that. Thank you for trusting me with these. Even though I have all my 3 rules. Oh, shit. Oh, wait. Okay, good. I got to catch up. They're starting to cut me off. I can't keep up with these. Kiki, will Tony come back to State College in the fall? Yes. That's just a straight yes. How do you open your gifts, Courtney? So Courtney Brown, the best thing to do that I tell people to do to open their gifts is when you have an experience, instead of going, oh, that was just that, just acknowledge it. So the first step is acknowledging, right? Same thing with like when you have an addiction or whatever, the first step is recognizing that you have a problem. So the first step to opening up is recognizing that it's real and you have these gifts and these experiences. I always say write things down. So if you feel like you heard something, write it down. If you feel like you saw something, write down what you saw. If you had a dream, write it down. Whatever it is, write it down. It's really important to just like having the proof in front of you so that, and if something happens or if somebody says something, you can be like, I just wrote down, like, I get this feeling that so-and-so is going to call me, write it down. It's not that you can't remember that you had that feeling, but when you get into psychic impressions, they're like that. And literally, I always get a lot of messages in the shower. Water's like a conduit. I don't know. It's just like I do. Sometimes by the time I've gotten out of the shower and walked into my room, I've forgotten what they've said. And I am always like, dang it, I know that was really important. So come back to me when you can. So write it down because it happens. Like I don't remember a lot of the stuff that I give you guys answers to. So Monica said I told her about money. That's awesome. I'm super excited for the validation. I don't remember what I told her. So writing things down, acknowledging that it happens, and put out the intention there that you're ready to open up and to open up at connect with me at a rate that I'm comfortable with. That's sort of some quick ones. Juliet, I answered yours. Will you be able to get your surgery? Nicole Plant, doing well. I am. Will your coworker Amanda get fired because of her toxic behavior? Please and thank you. I heard she will, but not as soon as you like. And I feel like the best thing I can tell you is to learn to like set the intention, say, oh, Amanda never bothers me anymore. And it's not because she isn't who she is. It's because you sort of put up this almost like energetic block, like where she doesn't even notice you anymore. That's a manifestation technique. Instead of like trying to fix or change their behavior, it's really sort of like also just changing yours. Like, I don't notice it anymore. It doesn't bother me anymore. It is who she is and I can't change her. Answer yours. Kiki, Dawn, Kruski. Thank you very much. My parents both died last year. Are they around me? Yeah, but there's kind of like a joke about it. And so I don't know if this makes any sense, but it's almost like we're like taking an RV around the country or going on a cruise. Like, it's like, we're too busy finally vacationing. And I know that sounds really weird, but it's like they have a really nice sense of humor. Like maybe they would have even joked about like, that's what they would do in the afterlife. It's like constant like vacations and cruising and They are around you. I don't know if you have a little boy, but I'm seeing a little boy that they're making note of a little boy. Thank you, Ellen R, for the well wishes, if you're even still here. Missy P, hi. I really want to put my health first. Any specific motivation from spirit? Oh, sure. Okay. So the first thing they're saying is like believing that you're worth it, and not like whatever you hear out there that like it's not possible, or that whole idea belief system that like, oh, after 40 it's harder to lose weight, or after this it's harder to do that, da, 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 da. Like literally just drown out the world, ignore what they're saying, and they're like, take it one day at a time. And it feels like just start, just take that step. And if you have like where you've been eating really, really good and then you sort of like fall off, instead of going, well, that's it, and giving up, like I always do this, like kind of instead of like telling yourself that story, it's sort of like, just go, well, that's just one day and I can start again tomorrow and have it, I can start now. Like that was one bite or one whatever. Don't try not to be so hard on yourself. And also they're like, talk to yourselves. This is what I do. So you just like they've done studies on water and plants and things like that, where you can change the energy of them by having positive self-talk. Talk to yourselves as you're working out, as you're eating. Talk to yourselves for and congratulate them on doing a good job and all of these things, because the strings, it's just the smallest part of ourselves, according to quantum, or cells, not selves, according to quantum physics, they really are affected by positive and negative energy. So speak kindly to yourself at the cellular level. Adriana Medrano Verona. Will he come back? I heard yes, but do you want him back? Like, why do you want him back? I feel like he's not very nice to you. Like he doesn't have a lot of nice talk to you. Like I feel like he just doesn't talk very nice to you. Wanda Davis, when are you going to get your own home? You got it, love. Let's figure that out. Here in a few months' time. So I feel like it's not as far out as you feel like. I don't feel like, I feel like something's going to happen where you're going to be able to like, it's all going to fall into place in a much shorter time than you ever expected. Maybe you'll win the lottery. I'm just kidding. It just feels like everything falling into place at a time that you hadn't expected. Like the house, like put the perfect house coming up for sale and being like less than you would have ever imagined something, but it just feels like everything really, really falling into place. I don't know. Maybe you're manifesting it all, but it's going to happen. And it happens sooner than you would have expected. Bobby, any general insight for you? Bobby, I heard putting yourself first, especially your health. I feel like everybody else ahead of you, and you're not really tending to your own garden and doing the things that need to make sure that your garden grows and is healthy. I also feel like they're showing you something with teeth, so I don't know if you're in need of a dentist, but it feels like not putting it off is important. Stephanie Sands, your love life. I heard wishy-washy, not wanting to make a commitment. But it doesn't mean he's a bad guy. It's just sort of like the stage you're at. I also feel like lack of self-confidence on his part makes him not feel totally ready. Cool games for you. Any messages from my spirit guides? I'm going to have to leave in a little bit, so I probably won't be here when you answer my question. That's okay. If not, I understand. Yeah, I'll answer your question. No problem. Cool games for you. Thanks all for hanging in here. This is a really long night, isn't it? I feel like you're really working on manifestation too. I love that, like, to know that people are really understanding how powerful they are. But they like literally, like, it's like they're taking an order. They're like, what do you want? Like, you can have it however you want. Like, you can have it made however you want. So it feels like stop limiting yourself. Stop with the limiting self-beliefs. They're saying like anything is possible. Anything is possible. So stop limiting where you're at and these limiting self-beliefs. That's just what I keep feeling. ST stuff here. The dude. The dude, do you know what number you've been seeing for a while, if you're still here? So sometimes have, number when they're repeating, it can be either a connection to the person that it was their birthday or whatever. But the way that I've sort of learned my numbers and like what things for me, but because if you look at the way other people define it, some people will say it means one thing and another people will say it means, like 222 means this, and one person will say it means, or no, I can think of one offhand. Like, so fives mean that change is happening, but another person may say it means something totally different. So it's sort of the language you develop. I use Doreen Virtue's angel numbers, even though she's a total Christian now. It's still what I use. That's sort of what I recommend if you're asking, since I don't know the specific number and I don't know if you're still here because it's pretty late. EXO, I'm not taking any new questions tonight. I'm really just trying to catch up. I'm really far behind. It's taking a long time. I just lost my numbers. Marie. So I'm just have a couple more questions here. So I don't know if that helps you at all, the dude, if you're still here. ST questions are jumbled. The section seems overlooked. Okay. Mariana, what can I expect in my relationship for the next 2 weeks coming up? I do feel like sort of that, I do feel like a little bit of like on edge, like a little stress and tension on edge. And they literally said, if you can just hold your tongue a little bit, if you just don't jump to say something and sort of like let it go a little bit, it will work itself out. So try not to jump and argue, just let it work itself out. All right, I think I am done and all caught up here. All right, if I missed anybody, I'm very, 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 very sorry. I tried my best. If you are new here, welcome, like and subscribe. If you hit the bell when you subscribe, you'll get notified when I go live again. I go live every Sunday and I do free readings. I also do private readings. They are paid though. And we can schedule those. I do, and I'll send you a payment, whatever. Half hour as of today's date is 100, an hour is 175. Email me, and my email is at the bottom of this. It's AnaLisa@myspiritualfriend.com. My website is on here, or URL, whatever you say. And I'm old school, whatever. And my Instagram is on here. My Twitter is on here. What was around 8:36 when I started? Oh, your ST, your question was? I can't get back to it. So I can't scroll back. I've gone on for so long tonight. This is insanely long. Can you just type your question real quick? And I will answer it. Okay. In the band I am currently in with Jeff, the band I should be in, or move on to another band or do my own solo thing. I actually feel like doing your own solo thing with a backing band. So that sounds weird, right? But I feel like it would be put you in the forefront and then have a new set of people all together. But I feel like that will happen in the next 6 to 9 months. So it feels like it will sort of happen organically. Natalie Litkid, hello. So, thank you again, everybody, for trusting me. I hope you join me again next Sunday. I'll be live. I'll do more free readings. And then this week, I'm going to do a spiritual talk. Last week just totally blew me away with working with this woman and everything else. So thank you again. I hope you have a wonderful week. Get some sleep. Sorry if it's so late. And I'm really hoping I didn't miss anybody this time. Have a good night.